nature. But it can also be one of the riskiest, right? So thousands of well-meaning Nigerians, especially those in diaspora, have lost millions due to silence, ignorance, and or misplaced trust. So because of this, with our experience as a real estate company or real estate consultant right here in Enugu, we've come up with this with this guide on how you can on how to help you escape from dubious land transactions or property transactions right here in Enugu. So hello and welcome back to our channel. We are Braudy Global Limited, a real estate company based here in Enugu and Abuja respectively. And with me today is my colleague.
Yes, and my name is Jesse Anozie, a real estate expert right in the city of Enugu.
Yeah, and I'm Jacinta, also a real estate expert based in the city of Enugu. So we are here today to share with you mistakes you need to avoid when you want to buy land here in Nigeria, especially in the city of Enugu, because like I said, we've seen a lot of people miss either they lose millions or they lose their property and all of that when they are trying to buy properties right here. So that is why we are here today to help you navigate the real estate industry so that when you want to buy properties, you will know the right things to do and avoid losing your money to the hands of scammers. All right. All right. So just like we do, once you jump on live here, type hashtag live and let us know where you are watching us from. And in the course of this video or in the course of this live session, if you have any questions, do well to drop them at the comment section and we will answer it gladly. So without wasting much of our time, we'll just go into the main reason why we are on this live session, which is different mistakes. I mean, 5 mistakes that you should avoid to avoid losing your money when buying land right here in Nigeria. So we'll be starting with the number one.
All
Right.
right, so one of the mistakes we see a lot of buyers make, especially those who are not in Nigeria, if you're buying from diaspora, one of the common mistake they make is when they buy land under pressure. All right, so when you're trying to buy a land from a person or a real estate company or an agent, and they're pressurizing you a lot, buy this land, buy now. Okay, when are you buying? Okay, when I send you your money, I think you need to calm down and evaluate it again because someone who's offering you a genuine land will allow you to do your due diligence. All right, they will not be rushing you to make instant payments. Some of these dubious agents or experts that claim they're experts, they don't allow you do your due diligence. They go as far as creating artificial urgency for you. That is a big red flag. I mean, if you're trying to buy from me, I should be able to allow you do your diligence. And even if the property is fast selling now, I should be able to give you some time. Oh, so are you going to get back to me between now and the weekend? Supposing you reach out to me on Tuesday, I should be able to give you a couple of days to do your due diligence, to know what you want to do about the land. If you have a representative here, a trusted representative, you can send the person over and the person can come and see the property, see the documents, and know that it is genuine and it is something you want to do. All right. So if you're trying to buy land today in any part of Nigeria, and then for some reason the person that you're talking with is pressurizing you, putting you too much on, putting you on pressure
Yeah.
to pay the money, please, you need to
Calm down.
calm down.
Yeah.
All right. So real estate is one of the most expensive things people buy in their lifetime. All right, real estate is not something you walk into a shop and buy like Bonvita or Milo. No, it's something that needs strategy. It needs you to make a proper decision, a wise decision. You need to weigh the pros and cons because it is quite expensive. Real estate is expensive,
True.
and sometimes it's the only expensive thing people buy all their life.
Yeah.
So you need all the time to get it right. So it's more important to get it right than to lose your money, right?
Exactly.
So today, one of the big mistakes you need to avoid is undue pressure or artificial urgency. And the second point is,
Yes. The second point is maybe no verifiable documents, or they're telling you documents are coming soon. So any land that doesn't have any documents for you to verify, stay away from such land.
please,
Or any land that doesn't have any documents to be presented to you, maybe by the agent or the real estate company or by the owner. So let me give this instance. There is this property that one of my clients wanted to buy at Abakwa, somewhere in Abakwa. And then the person that was presenting himself as the owner of the property. So the client reached out to me that he wanted to buy this property, that I should come and help him. And the first thing I asked the person that was presenting the property to him, I asked him, what are the documents of this land? He said, oh, his house got burnt and his document was alongside, and then there's no documents, but he has an affidavit. I said, what? An affidavit? There's nothing like affidavit for a land. Affidavit doesn't show that a land moved from Mr. A to Mr. B.
no, it does not.
So I told him, if you lose your documents, maybe in a fire outbreak or even flood or any other thing, what you can do is go back to the person that you bought that property from, get a lawyer that will prepare a document for you between you and the person, and you guys get to sign again. That is the highest,
Nice.
yes, that you can do. But in a case that you're telling me your document got burnt and you just kept quiet and you now want to sell that property based on word of mouth, except someone that doesn't know about real estate, that will just buy it like that.
True.
All right.
Yeah.
So I insisted that he gets the document before we can proceed with the transaction. Long story short is that I later involved our lawyer in the case, and after so many verifications, we discovered that this man was not the owner of the property. The property was a, a family property, which means before they can sell that property, they have to unanimously agree that they are selling that property. And he wanted to just sell it and then disappear with the money. So you see that document is very important. Document saves you from a lot of things, because imagine buying that kind of property. Tomorrow the other family members will come out and you may not be able to use that property. So same thing with some real estate companies, right?
Yeah.
I had a client that wanted to buy this property from a real estate company, and when he asked them for the document, they told him that the documents are coming soon, that he should buy.
First.
Yes, and documents will come soon.
Wow.
Nothing to verify.
That's a
Nothing.
lot.
Like they just told him to pay. I said, how? You cannot just tell somebody to pay like that. All right. So they, at the end of the day, we discovered that the land was not registered. There was no documents. They were just trying to, collect money and go away. Yeah. So always stay away from lands that doesn't have any verifiable documents. I think one thing that we do mostly right here in Braudy is we ensure transparency when it comes to buying of land. Yesterday, a client walked in here to pay for one of our properties, and he asked me, what is the document that shows that you own this property? And immediately we brought it out and we showed it. And he read it and he was okay, and he went ahead to pay for that property. That is how it's supposed to be. All right. So moving on, the number 3 mistakes you should avoid
Is not paying into direct account of who is selling it to you. Now, regardless of if you're buying from an individual, you need to pay into the account, the name on the document, the corresponding account number. All right. So a lot of people make mistake by transferring money into the agent they're dealing with. Even when you're transacting with a real estate company, you should be able to ask for the estate company's account where you transfer the money directly into. Please avoid paying for real estate with cash. All right. That is a very big mistake a lot of people do. Paying for a property, either a land or a house, with cash. When you pay with cash, it can't be traced.
Yeah.
There is no real proof in the face of court or anywhere that shows that you bought that property. But when you pay with a transfer or from a bank, it is traceable, all right, and it is evident that this is how you paid for it, which stands and holds sophistication that you bought this property. All right. So a lot of mistakes people make is when dealing with an agent. Even if you're dealing with me, Jesse and Jose, I wouldn't offer you my account when you want to. When we're about to seal that transaction, I would still give you the estate company, or even if it's an individual that I am connecting you with. I'm going to collect the person's account number, and you can see that is the name of the person on the document, and the account is matching, right? So please avoid using cash or paying into a middleman, like that is an agent or anybody you're working with who is helping you to achieve that goal or that property you want to achieve. Please and please do not pay into that account. So we've had several instances where the client, because he was not around, and he was using the help of an expert, someone that claims to be an expert. So I was like, no worry, just send the money to me. I'll help you. I'll help you secure it. I'll help you send the person. And at the end of the day, after the money landed the man's account, all form of communication ended.
Disconnected.
These are recurring cases that we see almost every time. And he said, this number is no longer going in. This is the person I've been talking to all the while, and it becomes an issue. Imagine you sending somebody over 100 million naira for a property, and then you can't hear from that person anymore.
Mm.
How devastating would that be?
Mm.
So, like I said, real estate is very expensive, and you want to do the right thing. You want to get it right once and for all. So, today, the third point is please do not pay into any other account apart from the account that is bearing the documents. All right.
All
So,
right.
and the fourth point is
There's no, okay, let me add a little stuff to that. Now we're not saying that, oh, you should not use your trusted person. So let's take for instance, you already have maybe your sister or your brother that you work closely with,
oh yeah,
right? That
mm,
you normally send money for. So we're saying that even if you have that person, anytime that person is making payments for you on your behalf to the person that you're buying the property from,
mhm,
the person should not make it to an agent account
true,
or to any other middleman account. You make it directly to the person that
person,
owns the property.
yeah,
So in case of tomorrow they want to trace the money or issues arise, you can easily say, oh, the
this
name
is
on the document is
yeah,
the name I sent the money to,
so
and it should
agree.
be yes. So that is what we are saying. We're not saying, oh, don't, if you have already a trusted person that you're working with, that is, you can still use the person, but when it comes to making payments for the property,
Please pay directly.
yes, I just want to add that. So the next point, which is the fourth mistake you should avoid, is no site inspection or video proof. So inspection or seeing the property that you want to buy is very important, right? Most times I've seen people that are showing vague land, telling people that this is the place, right? And at the end of the day, that's not the land. All right. So site inspection on the property that you want to buy is important. However, if you can't come home, if you're not, like if you're based in diaspora, insist on a virtual inspection or a detailed video showing the land location, the the surrounding developments, the access road, and if there are beacons already on the estate or on the land, you should also show it so that you are sure of where you are buying. Because if they can't show you the land, then they probably don't have it. All right. So if somebody is asking you to come and buy land and the person is giving you excuses why they can't show you the land, or they're just telling you just pay, we will cover every other thing, please stay away from such. So always ensure that you conduct site inspections either virtually or physically so that you are sure of what you are buying. All right, so that will lead us to the final point for this live session.
And which is buying into too cheap true lands.
Mm,
All right, so there's a difference between buying into a property that is cheap.
yeah.
Yeah, that is normal.
Mm,
All right, we have properties from 2.5 million naira, which is affordable.
mm,
But then again, this when you buy a property that is unrealistically cheap. How do I mean? I mean that in a location that you know that the price around that place is selling for a particular amount
mhm.
as the average price, and then someone is bringing you up for a ridiculous price. That doesn't work. All right. So we had an incident last year, late last year, of a client that was complaining that he saw a land and he paid for it. So we now asked how much was the land, and the land said 500,000 naira. And It's clear that properties in this axis are selling for 3 million naira. And then someone came up from the news and said, pay 500,000 naira and we're going to give you this plot of land. The man was so excited that he went to pay almost for 5 plots.
Wow.
So he paid almost like 2.5 million naira for a property that is sold for 3 million naira. Until today, nothing, no land, no transfer, no receipts, no documents, no site inspections, nothing. The person vanished the whole money. All right, so these are recurring cases, and we thought to bring it to you because it's happening and it is real. All right, so you want to buy into a land in Independence layout, and we know that Independence layout right now, a plot of land is going for as high as 100 million naira.
Even 500 million.
And someone says, Oga, come. This property you want it there? Just bring 10 million naira. And this property is yours. That is the cue for you to run away. Because averagely, you cannot not get a property in this axis for that amount. Alright. You know where you want to get a land of 10 million naira. You know the axis you can go to and get that property in that place. That is for underdeveloped or developing areas. These are where you can get such amount of land right instead of Enugu. Not in high-end areas that are already fully developed, city centers, town. You can't get that kind of amount there. It is ridiculously cheap, right? So sometimes when you hear such offers, please do your due diligence. This is why due diligence is very important. When you hear from this, you hear from that, you just do your survey, all right, and
Okay.
know which one it is. Compare prices, compare prices. You compare from this person, compare from this person. Know what it is going on here. Know what the norm is here before you pay. Right? Please take your time, do your diligence, and know what it is all about. Do not rush. All right. When you hear that price, calm down, make further inquiries, right?
Yeah.
Before you can go ahead and pay for that property you want. Yes.
All right. Yes, I think he has done justice on that, right? Because 80% of the land scam that's happened, especially here in Enugu,
Mm-hmm.
that is buying too cheap to
Too
be
good to be
true,
true.
too good to be true.
Too good to be
See a place of that is worth 10 million, someone is offering to you for 2 million.
true.
You rush and pay.
Please.
Your
That's a
money,
red
both
flag.
your 2 million and your land, nobody, you will not see anyone's
Disappeared.
to disappear. So no matter how sweet a deal sound, please don't let excitement override caution, right?
Yeah.
Verify first, then pay second.
Yeah.
Verify first, then pay second.
So when I hear such instances, I usually ask where.
Uh,
Alright, so when someone said that I paid for this land and I didn't see it, and I asked where.
where?
And I asked how much. And they were not corresponding. And I said, Oga, I think it's you that you want to discount because
Exactly.
it's counted with you. Why would you want to buy into a place that you already know how much it's going for? But it's less. So please do not, do not, do not. You're not going to see documents, you're not going to get that property, and it's not even going to even exist. It might not even exist. That's the
Exactly.
funny part.
Exactly. Most time it doesn't exist.
It doesn't even exist.
Except it's a distress sale. Even the distress, the certain
It's
amount,
just off the market value. It's a
yeah,
few amount off
off.
the market value. So
Exactly.
this stress is off the market value. So please always carry out a due diligence when trying to buy a land. This is as important as the property you're going for. Knowing how genuine, identify it first. Then you can go ahead to pay. When you've dotted all the I's, crossed all your T's, then it's a go for you.
All right. Yes. So with this, I think we've majorly talked about the red flags you should watch or the mistakes you should avoid when buying land. These are the major ones, right? These are the major ones. And if you want us to guide you or to help you in the process of getting properties right, genuine properties, right? If you need help with that, as a trusted real estate company, we offer verified and secured land options. We also offer virtual site inspection for our clients who are in diaspora. And then we offer transparent pricing and genuine documentation. We even go as far as sending your documents down to your location. If you are not in Nigeria, wherever you are, we DHL it.
Straight up.
We DHL it to your location. We also offer post purchase support. So at every stage, we are with you. So if you need guide or if you want verified lands right here, in the city of Enugu. We are your go
Company.
to company. All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
all you need to do is to call us on the numbers that will be on the comment section, and we'll guide you through. Any question? Any
Let's
question?
recap.
All right. So okay, just give us a
All
quick
right. So
recap.
if you're just joining us, we're talking about common mistakes we see people make when trying to buy a land, even when you're in Nigeria or if you're not even in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Common mistakes, all right? So we said that first off, you don't have to buy into a property that doesn't have documents or no clear documentation. Right? When you're trying to buy a land and they can't present you with clear documents, please leave that transaction and run. All right. Second, we said buying into a property that is too cheap to be real.
Mm.
You know the normal average price in that location is usually dependent on locations, right?
Mm.
The price going on in that location, you are seeing someone that's giving you for less. Do your due diligence, find out, and if it is not tallying, please leave the transaction and run. All right. And third, we said when you're trying to buy a land and they're not giving you a full inspection, either a physical inspection, a virtual, or sending you a detailed video about that property, please run away from that transaction. All right. And we also said that when they're pressurizing you, putting you under undue pressure,
Pressure.
please and please do not succumb to that. Like I said, some dubious agents, they like to create artificial urgency. Oh, so this property is leaving the market tomorrow. If you don't pay now, you're going to miss out. All right. So, in as much as the place or the property is fast selling out, it should be able to give you some time to carry out a due diligence. And the fifth point we said that is do not pay into the person helping you, the direct agent, right? Pay into the person that is selling the property to you. If you're buying from the government is going to give you an account number to pay in. If you're buying from an estate company, they're going to also provide you an account that has the estate's name, right? And if you're buying from an individual, the document, the name on the document should tally with the name on the account the person is giving to you. All right. So with this, I believe that if you're trying to buy a land today or tomorrow, you have a better understanding and knowledge about how to go about it. And at Braudy Global, we help you do all these things. We give you properties that are genuine, verifiable. We take you for full inspections, site inspections to see the property you're buying. We offer you with valid accounts for you to pay in, and we'll go as far as we billing your documents to your location. All right. So we try to make it transparent as possible, and we give you information on what you're going about to advise you rightly. And if you're thinking about going about purchasing your property, your next property, you can reach out to us on the numbers in the comment section or around this video, and then we are going to be here to give you all the guidance and assistance you need.
All right. So to we come to your face again, thank you for watching this live session. And anytime that you're watching this live session, you're watching the replay, please type hashtag replay. All right. So until we come to your face again, keep investing in real estate, and we'll see you in the next one.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye.